Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Today is day 3 of Duke's custom built training program. Today we're going to talk about correction, okay, as well as a little bit of that loose leash walking. So for correction, now that we know that Duke has a pretty solid understanding of the commands we've been working on, now it's fair to hold him accountable for breaking those different positions, okay? So we're going to jump right into it by practicing some of our basic commands such as sit, down, and place, okay? So I'm going to grab some treats. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Duke for this position, all right? So, sit, yes! And all I'm going to do is kind of pivot around him to see if he'll break that position. Ideally, we don't want him to break that position, right? No, sit. So, if he does though, we want to give our correction word no in that nice firm but neutral tone. There should be no emotion behind it, okay? So, once again, I'll have him break position, breathe. I'm not looking for long durations quite yet, okay? But I am starting to implement the tiniest bit of distraction just to see if I can get that rise out of him, okay? He needs to understand now that he knows these words, he has to stay in that position until I say otherwise, okay? So, try that again. Sit. Yes! So I'm still saying my word, I'm still marking the behavior, giving that treat after the fact. Now I'm gonna pace around. No. Sit. So, it's important that when we give a correction that it's effective, okay? And we want to make sure that it's in that 1 to 3 second period, okay, after the mistake. If I wait 10 seconds, don't even bother. The dog's already on to the next thing, okay? Timing is everything, okay? As well as how effective our correction is, okay? We can't be super soft about it. I'm not dragging the dog around. It's firm, quick little tug, loose, pop correction, okay? So, I'm going to release him and we're going to do that again. Breathe. You can have that one, buddy. Let's see how he does. Sit. Yes! Now pivot around. No. Sit. In general, I don't want to repeat commands, but since he messed up, I'm going to say no and then repeat my sit command, asking him what I originally wanted in the first place, okay? So, broke position. Breathe. No matter what we're working on, it's always important to end on a good note, okay? So when you're practicing at home, make sure that last repetition is a good one. Even if he messes up, do one more solid one before ending it for the day, okay? So let's do that sit one more time. Sit. Yes! Good. So now I'm also giving him the opportunity, right? I asked him to sit, he took a second, but I waited to see if it would register and if he would offer up the behavior, which he did. But if he didn't, I could go ahead and say no and repeat sit, okay? So no, give my tug loose pop back into that sit, okay? So, I'm gonna pace around again. Good, great, much better. There you go, buddy. So now we're gonna move on and we're gonna do the same thing with our down position, okay? But the correction's gonna be a little bit different. Because if I have to correct him from breaking that down, that pop is going to go towards the floor because that's where we want his center of gravity to go, rather than up towards the sky the way it was when we were doing sit, okay? So let's see how he does. Do sit, yes, down, yes, good. Stand up, no, down. Okay, so no, I gave my correction word first, gave my tug loose pop towards the floor, no, down. So he went to itch there because he doesn't like the pressure. No. But I need him to get a better understanding of what that pressure means, okay? Breathe. Good. We're going to go ahead, we're going to do that again. Here. There you go. Good job, buddy. So we'll say the command again. Down. Yes! Give my reward. Now let's see if he breaks. No. Down. No. Down. No. I'm correcting him for that itching, okay? No. Sit. Down. No. Down. It's fair to hold him accountable now that he has a solid understanding, okay? We have to push him through a bit of this discomfort at times, okay? So when he whines like that, I'm not gonna give in and I'm not gonna feel bad, all right? I told him to down, he broke that position, okay? He broke the expectation I had for him. And in order to get to the other side, we have to go through a bit of discomfort, right? They're not so different from us. If we stay comfortable forever, we'll never grow, okay? Breathe. Go ahead. And once again, this will really build that solid foundation for the rest of these problem behaviors that we're trying to get rid of, okay? So I'm gonna do that down position one more time. Down. Yes. Good. No. Down. So since he is having a hard time with the down, all I'm doing, rather than doing that pivot, is I'm slowly standing up. So I'm kind of fading away that lure, whereas before, I always stayed down here. Now I'm starting to stand up and he has to maintain that position. So that's what I'm gonna do to kind of get that rise out of him from this position. And if he breaks it, no, tug loose, back into that down position, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our place command. Breathe. Grab a couple more treats for us. And I'll also move my place cot to where you guys can see it a bit better. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna guide him onto that place cot. And if he breaks position, once again, we're gonna give our firm verbal correction word, no, and then apply that tug loose pop, guide him back into position, okay? I'm not looking for a sitting down quite yet, but in time I will, because that's a more relaxed position. But for right now, I'm just looking for him to stay on place with all 4 feet, all right? Place. Yes! Good. And I'll pivot around. Good boy. Breathe. Very well done. We're going to do that again. Place. Yes! Good boy. It's important that we allow him to actually make the mistake before correcting him. A lot of people would see the dog lean and think that they're going to step off and correct them right off the bat. Wait for his foot to physically step off that mat before giving that correction, so that way he understands why he's being corrected in the first place, okay? And always keep in mind, timing is everything. But he's doing really well with this one. Breathe. Here. Okay. Good. Then do it again. Place. Yes! Good boy. Once again, not looking for long durations, just a quick little burst. Breathe. Good job. Alrighty, now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna move my place cot out of the way and we're gonna talk about loose leash walking. So, hold on a second here. Alright, so for loose leash walking, ideally we want the dog to stay in our sweet spot, okay, which is gonna be between our knee and our heel, all right? We don't want the dog to forge ahead, pull to the side, or pull behind, or fixate on anything, okay? And we kind of know what that looks like, right? When we're going on a walk, the dog may see another dog up ahead or a stranger, and they get a little tense, maybe ears back, maybe hackles up. That's the moment I want you to correct, okay? We're gonna correct for pulling, but I also want you to correct for fixating, okay? It's important that we try to put out the smoke before putting out the flames, okay? When we correct, when he's at peak reaction, you still can, but it might have the adverse effect, okay? I want us to try to pay attention to really reading that body language when he fixates, giving that correction in the moment when we notice that, okay? So, in a second here, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna have him walk with me. I'm gonna tell him to heel. If he stays where I want him to be, which is right at my sweet spot, I'm gonna mark the behavior, just like I would anything else, right? I'll say, yes, okay? I'm not gonna use a lot of food for this one either, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my treats away. This is more pressure based, so we'll see how he does. Heel. Yes. No. Heel. So he kind of pulled to the side a bit, so I gave him that pop, tug, loose, and guided him back over to my side, okay? Heel. Yes. And if the dog ever pulls behind and is being stubborn, don't stop because they do. Keep walking, guide with that pressure, okay? Heel. Yes. It's also important that when we're doing this, that we take it slow, okay? I always tell people, if your dog can do it at a snail's pace, they can do it at any pace, okay? And I especially like you, the owner, to take it slow at the beginning, so that way you can really pay attention to your mechanics as you're working with the dog, okay? So that way there's that clear communication, all right? So we're gonna go again, heel. Yes, good boy. Now, you see this time I walked into his body. So a lot of times we can correct him by, of course, giving that no, tug loose, prop pop correction, okay? But I can also turn away from him and use my leash pressure to guide him this way, as well as use my body pressure to push into him this way, okay? We're having a conversation at the end of this leash, all right? So it's super important that he understands what we're trying to get across to him. Heel. Yes. Good. So he's doing pretty well. So I really haven't had to correct him too much. Like I said, timing is everything though. Really pay attention to how soon you need to correct him, all right? Otherwise, he's doing really, really well with that. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next upcoming videos. I'm really excited to see his progress. He's doing great so far. Otherwise, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.